Leviticus 23. Religious festivals. The Lord told Moses to say to the community of Israel, I have chosen certain times for you to come together and worship me. You will have 6 days when you can work, but seventh day of the week is holy, because it belongs to me. No matter where you live, you must rest on the Sabbath and come together and worship. This law will never change. Passover, the festival of thin bread. The Lord said, Passover is another time when you must come together to worship me. And you must be celebrated on the evening of the 14th day of the first month of the year. The festival of the thin bread begins on the 15th day of the same month, and it lasts 7 days. And during this time, you must honor me by eating bread made without yeast on the first day of this festival. You must rest from your work and come together and worship. Each day of this festival, you must offer sacrifices. Then on the final day, each day of the festival, you must offer sacrifices. Then on the final day of the festival, you must once again rest from your work and come together for worship. Then the Lord said to Moses to say to the community of Israel, after you enter the land I am giving you, the first bundle of wheat from each crop must be given to me. So bring it to the priest on the day of the Sabbath. He will lift it up in dedication to me, and I will accept you. You must offer a sacrifice to please me. So bring the priest a 1-year-old lamb that has nothing wrong with it, and 2 kilograms of your finest flour mixed with olive oil. Then he will place these on a bronze altar and send them up in smoke with a smell that pleases me. Together with these, you must bring a ladder of wine as a drink offering. I am your God, and I forbid you to eat any new grain or anything made of it until you have brought me these offerings. This law will never change. Verse 15. 7 weeks after you bundle the grain, each family must bring another offering of new grain. Do this exactly 50 days later, which is the following Sabbath. Bring 2 loaves of bread to be lifted up in dedication to me. Each loaf is to be made with yeast and 2 kilograms of yeast flour. At this same time, the entire community of Israel must bring 7 lambs and are a year old. And at the same time, the entire community of Israel must bring 7 lambs that are a year old, a young bull, and 2 rams. These animals must have nothing wrong with them, and they must be offered as a sacrifice to please me. You must also offer the proper grain and wine sacrifices with each animal. Offer a goat as a sacrifice of sin, and 2 rams a year old as a sacrifice. The priest will lift up the rams together with the bread in dedication to me. These offerings are holy. And are my gifts to the priest. This is the day of celebration and worship, a time of rest for the week. This is a day of celebration and worship, a time from of rest from your work. You and your descendants must obey these laws. When you harvest your grain, always leave some of it standing around the edges of the field. And don't pick up what falls on the ground. Leave it for the poor and for those foreigners who are living among you. I am the Lord, your God. The Festival of Trumpets. The Lord told Moses to say to the people of Israel, the first day of the 7th month must be a day of complete rest. Then at the sound of trumpets you will come together to worship and to sacrifice on the altar. The great day of forgiveness. The Lord said to Moses, the 10th day of the 7th month is a great day of forgiveness. It is a solemn day of worship. Everyone must go without eating to show sorrow for their sins, and sacrifices must be burned. No one is to work on that day. It is a great day for forgiveness. It is a solemn day of worship. Everyone must go without eating to show sorrow for their sins, and sacrifices must be burned. No one is allowed to work on that day. It is a great day of forgiveness. When sacrifices are offered to me, so that I will forgive your sins, I will destroy anyone who refuses to go without eating. None of my people are ever to do work on that day. Not now, nor in the future, and I will wipe out those who do. Verse 32. There is time to complete rest like the Sabbath, and everyone must go without eating. From evening of the 9th to the evening of the 10th. Lord told to Moses to say to the community of Israel, beginning on the 15th day, the Lord told Moses to say to the community of Israel, beginning on the 15th day of the 7th month and continuing for 7 days, every month must celebrate the festival of shelters in all honor of me. No one is to do any work at the first day of the festival. It is a time when everyone must come together and for worship. For the 7th day, sacrifices must be offered on the altar. For 7 days, sacrifices must become offered on the altar. The 8th day is also to be a day of complete rest as well, as little time of offering sacrifices on the altar and of coming together for worship. Verse 37. I have chosen these festivals at times when my people must come together and worship, and when the animals, grain, and wine are to be offered on the proper days. The festival must be celebrated in addition to the Sabbath. And the times when you offer special gifts or sacrifices to keep a problem or as a voluntary offering. Verse 39. Remember to begin the festival of shelters on the 15th day of the 7th month. After you have harvested your crops, celebrate this festival for 7 days in honor of me, and don't do any work. On the first day, the day following the festival, pick the fruit from the tree and cut safety branches to use during the time of the joyous celebration, commanded you and all your descendants to celebrate this festival during this 7th month of every year for 7 years. I command you and all your descendants to celebrate this festival during the 7th month of the year. For 7 days, every Israelite must live in a shelter, so future generations will know that I have made their successors live in the shelters when I brought them out of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. This is how Moses instructed the people of Egypt to celebrate the Lord's festivals. Thank you for listening to this chapter. I know it was a little long because I lost a couple of my places, but thank you for bearing with me. Thank you and God bless.